Part 6 to the murder of Cody Johnson. So the matron of honor ended up coming forward with all of these text messages, in which Jordan was saying that she was scared to get married and scared to lose her virginity. She was also crying the day of her wedding, and stated that she would freak out if he even made a move on her. Well, I guess after they got married, she pretended like she was on her period. But obviously that lie can only last for so long, so she told her friend that she ended up telling Cody she didn't want to be with him anymore, after 8 days of marriage, that they got into an argument and he left. So now the police know that she's telling different people different things. On top of that, they were able to trace the IP address of the email back to her stepdad's house. So that's when Jordan knew it was time to come clean. She said she told Cody she wasn't happy anymore and they got into a huge argument, but decided to cool off a little bit at the national park, in which they got into an altercation again and she pushed him off the cliff, which didn't surprise investigators at this point. Jordan then went to his funeral and was on her phone the entire time, and finally was arrested for first and second degree murder, but was only convicted for second degree and sentenced to 30 years. In which she didn't testify or apologize. Because of her Christian background, she made it seem like it was worse to just divorce. Part 2 to the murder of Cody Johnson. Well, the day of the wedding hit and they had a custom song made for their wedding. And it stated things like, "You're my safe place to fall, you help me to climb higher for a better view." And this is all a massive foreshadow. After their wedding, Cody took a week off of work as their honeymoon period to move into their new house. Well, the day before this honeymoon period was over was a Sunday. So they went to church, went to the lake, and went out to Dairy Queen with some friends. And this was the last time anyone heard from Cody. The next day occurred and he didn't show up to work. His boss, who again was also his best friend, was extremely worried. So worried that he went to his house, and when he knocked on the door for a while and no one answered, he resorted to breaking in. He was panicked, looked for evidence around the house, and found Cody's phone in the garage. But there was no sign of Jordan. Absolutely panicked, he called the police. Because of how worried his boss was, the police took this very seriously. They were also wondering why his wife didn't make this report. Well, the wife ended up texting a friend asking if they had seen Cody, saying that he drove off with out-of-town friends and didn't know where he went. Imagine resorting to murdering your spouse after only 8 days of marriage. Today, we're going to be talking about the murder of Cody Johnson. To give a little bit of backstory into his life, he was born on April 8th, 1998, was very outdoorsy, loved cars, got a career in making custom commercial cars, and his boss was his best friend. He had an awesome relationship with his family, with his friends, an amazing job that he loved, but all he really wanted was a wife to go along with it. Well, in Halloween of 2011, he met Jordan Graham. She was a huge Christian, very active in the church, but she was also very shy and reserved. But this attracted Cody to her. They were like yin and yang, perfect opposites. And Cody knew he was going to marry her after just a few weeks of knowing Jordan. He fell so hard, but a lot of their friends and family was noticing that Jordan wasn't falling quite as hard. And it's very important that I state that because of Jordan's religious views, celibacy was huge for her. So Jordan and Cody decided to buy a house and get married. It was very noticeable that Jordan was more excited about the wedding, though, than the marriage. And when it was time for the wedding, this is when things took a turn for the worse. Part 5 to the murder of Cody Johnson. So Jordan throws the rock over the edge and states, "OMG, it's him." Her little brother joins her and kind of looks over the edge, and it's just past the point that you can't see, but you can definitely see that something's down there, which traumatized her little brother, and he was so upset that he was physically crawling back to the car and crying. And again, Jordan was emotionless. And everyone was shocked by her behavior and the fact that she knew the right place to go. A member of the FBI had to actually climb down the tree by rope in order to confirm that there was a body down there before they even started the rescue mission, because of how dangerous the rescue mission would be. But once they were able to go there, they confirmed that it was him, he had his ID on him, and a helicopter had to come drop a 200-foot line to retrieve him. All of Cody's friends and family stated that he was afraid of heights, so he had to have been lured there. The police thought it was very suspicious that Jordan knew exactly where to go, and when questioned on this, she said the Holy Spirit just led her to this spot. Now they're super weirded out but still don't have evidence against her. And this is when her matron of honor ended up coming forward with text messages about Jordan being scared to get married. Part 4 to the murder of Cody Johnson. So whenever Jordan brought this email to them, she claimed that he did work with a Cody, and when they found this Cody and interviewed him, he said that he hadn't worked with him in a long time. He also was extremely cooperative and they couldn't find any evidence against him. They also could not tie that email to him. So they take their search to Glacier National Park. Jordan brings her friend Hannah and they walk around with a search party looking at different areas. But again, Jordan's very unemotional and not even helping. Her friend was just trying to be as supportive as possible. Well, they couldn't find him, so they went home, called it a day, and came back the next day. And Jordan brought her little brother with her. And as they're driving through, Hannah is suggesting places that the search party should go to. But Jordan ends up having another idea. She takes them on a very long road to the top where a parking lot is, and states that her and Cody went here a lot. This area was beautiful and scenic, but dangerous, and the rocks for the hikers were not approved. But everyone watched as Jordan jumped over the railing and onto the rocks, went to a specific edge of a small cliff, throws a rock over the edge, and states, "I think he's down there." Part 3 to the murder of Cody Johnson. So at this point, friends and family know that Cody is missing. So they go to Cody and Jordan's house to help. And when they're over there, Jordan just seems upset instead of happy that people are actually helping. At one point, she gets so upset that she throws her wedding ring. Well, obviously with this behavior, the police call her in to question her. They're like, "Hey, was there a fight?" She says no. They're like, "Well, do you think you know where he went?" She's like, "Well, he does like to go out on very fast joyrides," almost suggesting that they were going too fast and maybe crashed somewhere. She also said that she didn't make a missing persons report in case he came back and was upset with her. Well, the cops were potentially thinking that this was a drug deal gone wrong, because that wasn't uncommon for the area. Search parties were looking for Cody everywhere until an email came in. I'll insert this email now from Cody the car man. And Jordan originally showed this email to her friend, and it was her friend who encouraged her to take this email to the cops instead of her just doing it herself. It stated that his body was in Glacier National Park, but when she took this to the police, she showed no emotion, but they still decided to search there. Part 3 to liminal spaces and back rooms, and trigger warning, we will be talking about simulation theory. So are we just living in one big giant Sims game? We have very highly developed artificial intelligence, and it continues to get better every day. And we are starting to have the ability to be able to create things that have awareness. I don't know if you guys saw that snake on your For You page that thought it was alive, but that's like the example that I'm gonna give. How do we know that we are not in this as well? Honestly, we don't. We just have to believe that we are real in order to live in a simulation. Like, my Sims do not know that I'm controlling them. Even Mr. Musk has stated with the rate of any improvement at all that games will be indistinguishable from reality. So who's controlling my life? Because they need to do a better job. If you are spiritual like I am, this also doesn't disprove the theory that we have a creator. It's just more of a programmer. Either way, it's just a theory. And if you guys want to go over to my Instagram page, I'm going to be talking about the levels to the back rooms. If you click on my middle tab right here, you will see the videos. And let me know what you think of this theory and what theories you want me to talk about next. Part 2 to liminal spaces in the back rooms. So the next question that we're going to be answering is, why do back rooms exist? These yellow decaying walls are providing people with nostalgia for a time they've never even known. Well, basically, it's a glitch. Have you ever lost something for days and then been able to find it again? Or maybe a bird flying in place, or the Mandela effect, or photos of people who look like they're time travelers. Either way, these cases defy the laws of reality. So these examples, along with finding the back rooms, are glitches. And a glitch would suggest that we're potentially in a simulation. Psychologist Carl Jung actually described our world as an unconscious manifestation that materializes. The best example that I can think of is Coraline. Think of whenever she's with the other mother. Everything that Coraline unconsciously desired is manifested. The other mother is the creator and knows exactly what to make in order to entice her. And whenever she goes out of the bounds of what's created, things start to turn to another color. Essentially, she's glitched out of reality and in her own back room. So is our universe just a projection for us, similar to how Coraline's universe was projected as well? So I am beyond fascinated by this conspiracy theory. First, I'm going to be showing you guys a series of images, and let me know in the comments how they make you feel. I was introduced to liminal spaces whenever I was first on TikTok. The sound St. Bernard by Lincoln was going viral at the time, with people putting their near-death experiences and saying that this is what they saw after they died. In all of the comment sections, people seem to be describing this place as ominous, yet nostalgic, as if we've all been here before. While the next time that I was introduced to these, it was going viral with the Daisy song, which honestly just unlocks a whole other creepy feeling. But everyone was stating that this is what their dreams look like. So why do everyone with different experiences, different lives, all feel that this is familiar? As if we're unlocking a shared stowed away memory. Well, a post that went viral on 4chan was describing these as the back rooms. What exactly is a back room? Well, in a video game, it's essentially when you no-clip out of reality, like you're passing through the limits of what you're supposed to see. So what would that mean for reality, and why are back rooms there?